Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Beyond This, the podcast that talks about everything from life to spirit and all those things in between. If we haven't met before, my name is Matilda. I am a professional psychic medium and psychic advisor here in Australia. Welcome. This week, we're going to be talking about getting out of your past and living in the now. Many people will hold on to their past and think it defines them. We're going to explore that a little bit more in today's episode. A little later in today's episode, we're going to be talking about some predictions that I have made that I've seen coming in, but also some new predictions for you. And I know many of you are waiting with a bated breath on those. Let's talk about current affairs, shall we? Let's talk about what we have seen happening in the recent week. Seriously. It's been difficult. My thoughts go out to everybody in LA. I did do a live on my Patreon. I've done two, and in that I talked about Boston, Houston, Miami, and a couple of other places where I see riots starting. Chicago is another one. Feeling is that there's a lot of antagonistic behavior going on from ICE. I also want to say that there are many people pretending to be ICE agents. I talked about that last year in depth, that I felt that people will be taking matters into their own hands. It's like they feel they have the freedom to act as they want. The administration isn't being held accountable. Why should they? All of those things. It is horrific. I am so sorry for everyone in LA. Please stay safe. It is going to have a roll-on effect throughout the country. There is not a lot we can do about it currently. I will talk about what I see coming in at the end of the episode. The spat between Elon and Trump, as I talked about in my 2025 predictions. If you are a paid member of my Patreon, you have access to the 2025 predictions. You can find them in the collections. They are still in the shop. If you are not a Patreon member, you can just pop in there and purchase them. But I talked about how it was going to be a very public spat. That's going to get worse. There's a lot of shit coming out that Elon is going to speak about. There's this feeling, I'll mention this a little bit later, but I almost feel like he's going to bolt from the USA and then dump a lot of information. Yeah. I am a bit worried about Elon. Well, I'm not worried, but I am worried about him slipping in a bathtub, some form of attack on him, maybe even an assassination. But that's what I want to say about all of that. There is a lot going on at the moment. We warned you June, July was going to be almost like whiplash. Greta Thunberg as well, being kidnapped by the Israeli Defense Force. I just feel like they're going to be held to ransom. Give us this and we'll do that. I expect Europe to get involved in the Middle East now. That could be coming up very, very soon. So let's get into today's episode. In whole, I want to talk about people that allow past events to define them. There's a lot of people that have limited and limiting beliefs about what they are deserving of, what they should have because of past trauma, past events, childhood conditioning, etc. It's stopping you achieving what you want to achieve. Our ability to bring in what we want is limited to what we believe we deserve. When we can flick a switch and use our energy to move forward, it will make a huge difference to your future. The illusion of identity through pain will stop many people focusing on the now. When we go through something painful, especially repeatedly, our nervous system and subconscious can lock us into a loop. We start to become the experience. I am the woman who was abandoned. I am the child who was never chosen. I am the person who failed. But that's not who you are. That is something you lived through. You are the now. You are who you are now and who you create for yourself. Right now is this breath. You are consciousness, choosing what meaning you give your life. You are the awareness that gets to say, I'm ready to see myself beyond the pain. You are the creator of what comes next. So ask yourself, who am I without the story? Who am I if I'm not defined by the person who hurt me? And what does my spirit want me to remember about who I am? When we anchor ourselves into the present is your point of power. When we connect to presence through breath, through meditation, nature, or stillness, we find a space that has no past. We find the now, and the now is neutral. Yet now is sacred. Now is where your spirit can speak to you. If we are constantly dipping into the past and wanting other people to be responsible for where we are now, then we are disempowering ourselves and empowering those that caused us pain. So today, let yourself say it out loud. I am not what happened to me. I am now. And then choose something now that reflects who you are becoming. Light a candle, move your body, set a boundary, not because of what you went through, but because of who you are deciding to be today and who you want to be tomorrow. So many people will set self-limiting beliefs on themselves. And a lot of the time, it's through fear of what they may actually achieve if they let go of the past. There are many people who have held themselves back from doing the job they really want to do because somebody told them when they were 12 years old that they would never amount to much. There is somebody who is refusing to study because they were told they were stupid at school. There is somebody that won't date because they've had bad experiences through dating. There is somebody that isn't trying for a child independently because they are conditioned to believing that if they don't have a life partner, then they don't deserve a child. Think about where your self-limiting beliefs are stopping you from living in this moment, from breathing deeply and leaning into the future instead of fearing the future. Everyone deserves what they strive to be, without the little voice in the back of the head stopping them from leaning into their own power. Self-limiting beliefs aren't truths. They're actually memory. These beliefs are usually formed during vulnerable moments of our life, when we were told we weren't good enough, safe enough, smart enough. But they're just emotional echoes, not actual universal truths. They're protective, not punitive. Often these beliefs were originally meant to protect you. Don't speak up, it's safer. Don't try, you won't be disappointed. But what once kept you safe is now keeping you small. Beliefs are borrowed from other people. Many self-limiting beliefs come from voices that aren't yours. Parents, teachers, culture, past lives. Ask Whose belief is it? If it's not yours, don't keep carrying it. Every belief can create a reality. Your beliefs are the filter through which you see the world. When you shift the belief, the world reflects that shift. It's not just mindset, it's energy, it's alignment, it's magnetism. Once you can shift that mindset into leaning out of rather than leaning into, you can create a new reality for yourself. We'll talk about some of those tools next. First of all, I'm going to give a shout out to our newest Patreon supporters. Remember, if you are not a Patreon member, pop along, follow the link in my bio. Patreon has a lot more access to me, for a start. I answer questions, I am on chats often, I do lives. There's extra podcasts, lots of extra predictions. You will see some of the predictions that I made on Patreon slowly making their way over to social media because they've come in. So remember, if you want to see them first, get over to Patreon and sign up. This weekend just gone, we had our wonderful coffee morning where we all got together for an hour and a half, talked about spiritual questions, current affairs. I gave all the answers that were needed, and we just generally caught up. Did that on Sunday. On Monday, I was on Patreon Live. It was a bit of a fizzler because every time someone over 200 people came in, they got kicked out. So sorry about that. I am working at a new system. And then today I was on chats. That's how often you get to speak to me on Patreon. Chats are really about just catching up. We have a laugh, we have a giggle, we raise the energy. Big shout out to Siobhan, who is one of my Patreons, who's currently in Bali, who's keeping us all entertained because I'm not sure she's sobered up for the whole trip to Bali. So big shout out to Siobhan. Right, newest Patreon supporters. Saheen, thank you. Shelley Rose, thank you. Leah, who has joined for 12 months, thank you. Jackie, who has joined for 12 months, thank you. Marissa, Astra, Melissa JG, Samantha C, Shara Trella, Rebecca and Jen C. Thank you. So good to have you with us. And remember to go into the collections where all the juicy stuff is. Patreon supporters also sponsor this podcast. It is completely ad-free because of Patreon supporters. So let's start with some tools to help you move out of the mindset of the past, restricting your beliefs about yourself and what you're capable of. You can start by really journaling and having an excavation of your beliefs. If I didn't believe what you believe, what would I allow myself to do? Where did this belief come from? What would I be without this story? This brings hidden programming to light, and it is programming. Really excavating what you have done to limit your beliefs is going to help you no end. Reframe with a higher voice. Write a belief as it is. I am not good enough. Then rewrite it through your higher self. I am learning to see myself through the eyes of love. I am enough because I exist. Speak this daily. It rewrites your energetic field. This is really important and why I teach that affirmations are so helpful. Affirmations sound really wanky, and a lot of people will say, I do my affirmations maybe once a week. They are there to reprogram your brain. They have a use. Do your affirmations. When we put I am in front of a sentence, we become it. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am worth the effort. I am capable. I am amazing. All of those things. The I ams are there to give you the validation you have craved for years. Imagine 10-year-old you being told something like you are not good enough, or you're not good at school, or you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that. Imagine how emotionally unsafe you felt at that time. Now we're going to transplant you to the moment, this moment now. I want you to make yourself feel emotionally safe and secure with your affirmations, with your I ams. I am amazing. I am worth the effort. I am capable. I am loved. All of those things are so important. Yet you have spent so many years believing you are not, that unless somebody told you or validated you, you didn't believe it. Now empower yourself by taking on those I ams, those validations, and reminding yourself every day, multiple times a day, how fucking amazing you are. Rewrite your story and stop living in the past. If you feel you need to have a line in the sand to stop this, light yourself a candle or some incense. Say your limiting belief out loud. I am not good enough. Then declare, I release this with love. I return it to the earth and I reclaim my truth. This may help you draw that line in the sand and realize how much you are worth. You can also do things like visualize yourself, meet your empowered self. In meditation, imagine a version of you who has already transcended this belief. Ask her, what did you have to let go? What did you believe instead? Anchor into that energy. If you are listening to this podcast, the chances are you are working through your spiritual growth and involvement. I cannot stress enough that there are many people that will book a reading with me. And then a year later, they'll book a reading and ask the same things. And I'll say, did you put into practice anything that your guides told you to? And they'll say, I meant to, but I never got round to it. Do the work. Do the work, do the work, do the work. I say this so many times. You can book as many psychic, spiritual readings, healings, astrology readings, whatever you want. But if you're not willing to do the work, then you're wasting your money, and you might as well go buy yourself that expensive perfume that you've always wanted, because you are limiting yourself by not doing the work. You're playing into the hands of the past by not doing the work. You are saying that you are not worthy or worth the effort by not doing the work. I'm not asking you to turn around 5 times and stick a crystal up your bum. I'm asking you to think about what your limiting beliefs are, what has held you back for so long, and why you haven't addressed it. To live in the now, to realize that the untruths that you were told are just a narrative that you started to believe. Because what we are told when we are younger often suits the people that say it to us. It's not to suit us. And you may not have caused the damage, but I'm afraid you are the one that has to fix it. So we come to the part of the show where a lot of people will skip to listen to the upcoming predictions. But first of all, I'm going to talk about some predictions that have happened that I predicted. First of all, LA riots. That was in my Patreon predictions a while ago. I also talked about something happening in New Zealand and that there was going to be a big drama around a politician. I believe that has happened recently. Talked about the Reform Party having a bit of a shake-up in the UK. That's happened. Riots in the UK have come in this weekend as well. Gavin Newsom being front and centre. Do you think that Trump is really understanding that he is actually elevating Gavin Newsom He's not squashing him. There are so many people saying, I can't stand him, but I'd vote for him. It's going to backfire on you, Mr. Trump. I'm sorry, it's going to backfire on you. That was one of my predictions. I predicted that there would be an investigation into the voting machines because they were transposing votes. There you go. That's another one that's happened. Not sure how that's going to play out. A lot of people have asked me whether I see Kamala coming back. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't believe so. I really think there may be a special or unique election sometime in the next 12 months. But as far as Kamala Harris, no, not at this stage. But we will see. I'm very happy to be proved wrong. More than happy to be proved wrong on that one. What do I see coming in the coming weeks? There is going to be an escalation of things going on in the water around. I know that we've just had the issue with the Madeline that Greta Thunberg is on, but waters around that area, around or heading towards the Middle East, there is going to be some action towards holding Israel accountable. I'm not saying that they will be fully held accountable, but I am being shown and have been shown this for ages that Netanyahu will end up being either assassinated, arrested, taken out of power. Really feel like this is upcoming. In Australia, I feel like we are in for some really bad retail news as far as big retail giants. A few more builders are going to go under as well. There's going to be an investigation into something that's happened with a government department. Now, I'm moving away from like the NDIS or what happened with Centrelink Robodebt. It feels like it's someone connected to that, but not connected to it. So not connected to those departments, but once was. That I feel is coming up. Recall of dairy products happening in Australia very soon. I feel like there's either a listeria, bacteria, salmonella outbreak that's going to have to recall a lot of stuff. That's what I see for Australia at the moment. As far as the United States, I'm not convinced that Trump will be at the G7. He could be, but I'm not convinced. There's going to be talk about him having a double or more proof that he has a double. I saw the guy that was at the boxing. It actually doesn't look like him. It's bizarre. There's this guy that turns up to public events, and then there's just, I know, tinfoil hat Matilda, whatever you want to say, but I just am questioning whether every person we see in public is Trump. Okay, what I see coming up also is, I know that Musk and Trump had their Barney this week. Give it about a month, 6 weeks, and they will be seen together, or there will be something with them together. There's going to be a lot of shit that goes down that Musk is going to spill. But the reality is they actually sort of both need each other. Trump is holding something over Musk, and Musk is holding something over Trump. So that is going to be really interesting. Supreme Court are going to use the words immunity for some of the stuff that Trump is doing right now. But I don't think he's going to get away with it. I think that Newsom will have a win. Right, that's about it from me this week. I hope this week's episode has been useful for you. Remember to look after yourselves, be kind to yourselves. Whatever you have been through in the past, you deserve compassion, especially from. Remember, I've got a couple of events going on, there are workshops going on over the end of June and the first week of July. One of them is about listening to your guides, paying attention. It is the biggest question I get asked. How do I pay attention to my guides? If you are a Patreon member, that course is only $50. If you want to know how to tune into your intuition and listen to your guides, join that workshop. If you cannot because of time differences, you will be emailed the recording of the workshop. The other one is about attracting things to you and people to you by living the magnetic life. That is the first week of July. For now, I will see you later. Take care.